Hello everybody. So what would you consider when deciding on what school to go to once you've decided to go back to school? Hello everybody. My name is John Dornoff, public speaker, consultant, and we're here to talk about going back to school. In the last episode of the Wednesday series, I gave you some of the things you should think about when deciding whether you should go back to school. This time, I'm going to talk about specifically, you've made a decision to go back to school. What are some of the things you should consider when looking at the school? Of course, the first big thing you need to look at is finding a school that has a program you're interested in. Now, if you have a family, where you go to school can have a big effect on you. Whether you want to move the family or not, not. Number two, the question is, will they accept your credits if you have previous credits from their school? Let me give you my example. I was living in one state. I had enough credits to graduate, to get my transfer degree, to get my 4-year degree. All I needed was a couple classes. Yet the state I was in, which was different from the one I originally got to school in, would not accept any credits. They said, sorry, we don't accept out-of-state credits. You'll have to start from the beginning. I only needed a few classes. Well, as it turned out, my wife and I were adopting 4 kids out of foster care, and we decided we didn't want to be living where we were anyway. We wanted to move back to Oregon. We loved the Oregon area, so we decided to go back. I made sure that the school I decided to go to would accept the credits, which they would. So we decided shortly after adopting the children that we moved up to Oregon. So you got to figure out whether they're going to accept the credits. And can you move? Sometimes moving isn't practical for you, so that's something you have to decide on yourself. So is there a school nearby that can have the program? Consider work and jobs. In my case, I was able to transfer with the company I was working for. Actually, it was kind of a strange situation. The way their system worked is I had to quit my job where I was, but then they hired me on at the new area. But they wouldn't actually transfer. They didn't transfer people from one position to another. It was kind of a strange situation, but we got through it. One of the nice things I thought about going back to school wasn't there to impress anybody. When you're young, you're trying to impress people, especially those, you're thinking about dating, and sometimes that has a bigger priority than actually getting schoolwork done. So that is one benefit of going back to school. One thing I encourage you to do is go to the school. Talk to the teachers, talk to students. Now, if you're over 30, you're in a community college, you'd be a traditional student. It's not under 30. It's not traditional. It reverses itself when you go to a 4-year school or get a master's degree. So you're a non-traditional student. What services do they have? Usually, the universities and colleges are really working toward helping those. The 18 to 22 years old. Do they have any services for you? Now, the school I decided to go to, they did have services for people with parents with children. Unfortunately, most of that services were really tied toward young children. I mean, really young children. Since the children I adopted were anywhere from 6 to 10 years old, they really did not have a whole lot of services for us. Fortunately, there was other support services that helped us. Another thing I would do is talk to the counselors of the program you want to. See if they're even helpful. The one thing I encountered at the school I went to was the counselors for the program I went into were not helpful at all. In fact, they didn't want to even deal with you. It was actually only one person. All they cared about was getting you in and out of their office. They didn't care about really helping the students. They were just there for themselves. So, are they really going to help you? Now, I met one person when I got my master's degree that went to an undergrad program at a private school. It was a much smaller school. They actually had counselors who cared about the students. However, one thing I will point out is, of course, that school was very expensive, and she was in a debt for a whole lot of money because she had to go to a private school. So that's something to consider, because of course private schools are going to be much more expensive. So you get more, more attention, but on the other hand, you pay for it through the, and is it going to be that important? Me, I was able to figure out, okay, this is what I need, this is what I want to do, these are the classes I need. I really did need those. Some people may need more help. That depends on you. So there's a few things you want to look at. If moving is a possibility, maybe you'll find another better school somewhere else. Although moving, especially if you have a family, can be very difficult. I had moved dozens of times in my life. Didn't think much of it until you have kids. And then moving takes on a whole new perspective. Despite the fact that we still didn't have a lot of stuff for them. They'd only been with us for about a year. They were foster children to us first. But still, it is a traumatic, not only traumatic for the actual move, but it's traumatic for them. But in our case, it was the best thing for them to get out of where we were living so they could have a new area, new friends, and be away from the bad aspects, bad memories of where they came from. So, what is your situation? I hope this helps in finding, making a decision on where to go to school. If there's other questions you have, leave them in the comments section. If you would like more videos about this, let me know. Overall, on Wednesdays, we develop videos to help you on your career path. So school is one part of it. We will talk about other aspects of your career, including finding a job, some ideas. I have been on both sides of the table as far as hiring. I've helped hire people. I've, of course, obviously been on the other side of the table. So we'll discuss that and other ideas to help your career. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.